Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. We've got almost 900 of these. We'll have 900 probably by the end of the week in a variety of topics: social, psychological, mental health, emotional wellness, and coaching related topics. This is our life lesson series. This is, I believe, episode 54 or audio 54. And so kind of look at that. If you're looking for the uh, lessons that life are trying to teach you that you may be missing or falling short on, this is a good series for you. If you're looking for someone to help you through the process of figuring out what life is trying to teach you, would love to be of service to you in that way, please feel free to reach out at your earliest convenience. You can do that in a couple of ways, at PO Perception on Twitter or in the About Me section of this YouTube page. Either way, you'll get the contact with me or a member of my staff, and we can go from there, make the rest of 2021 and 2022 the best it can possibly be for you in every area of life. So, a couple of things the world's trying to teach you. Mel Robbins, no relation to Tony, by the way, has a wonderful book known as the 5 Second Rule. The 5 Second Rule is the idea that you can reverse engineer your brain by stopping and counting backwards from five and kind of making a decision, an active decision to change your behavior when you get to the number one. But the idea behind that is motivation of change means that you also must motivate your mind to work differently, wire differently, and kind of be different than it has been. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to completely change your preferences, but changing the way you attack a challenge or a problem, changing the way that you see the world, changing the way that you approach the need for alteration of behavior is important if you're trying to get somewhere. The next thing is understand that life is a step by step process. So, a lot of times we try to jump ahead of ourselves. A lot of times we try to get to places that aren't in our best interest, meaning we try to jump ahead and get over here, over there. We try to get to a committed relationship before we're healed from a previous one. We try to move forward in a job before we have all the skills necessary or the allies necessary. We try to make purchases of a car, a house, or other things before we've actually figured out what we would do if we can no longer afford these things and have a backup plan. So, understanding that having a step by step linear process is one of the most important things that we can do. The next is be yourself, whoever that is, which encompasses two lines of thinking or ways of thinking. The first is be yourself, be who you are, which means if you're quirky, if you're eccentric, if you're a little different, be that, but at the same time, don't become something just to get someone's attention. Don't become something just to be socially acceptable. Don't become something just to reach a level of connectivity with others, because what you become you have to maintain in order to maintain the relationships that you had during that time. And so the more authentic you are, the more real you are, the more balanced you are in how you present yourself, the better quality of life you're going to have. The next is choices. Understand the power of choice is something that no one can take away from you. Understand that the power of choice is something you always have access to, no matter where you are, no matter who you are. Now, you may not like the consequences of those choices. In other words, let's say someone's trying to attack you and you decide to run and they catch you anyway. Obviously, you don't like the outcome of the choice you made, but you still had the power of choice. No one at any point can ever take the power of choice away from you, even if you don't like the consequences. Um, be a student in life. Be a learner at all things. Always be trying to learn different viewpoints, different mindsets, different tasks, different skills, different ways of doing things. The more you expand your mind towards learning, the more that your life will improve. The more knowledge you have and relatability you have, the easier it is to understand how to own your life and get the most out of it daily, weekly, monthly, and in general. Overcome hearing no. Look, rejection is not the definition of your identity. Rejection is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, certainly. Many times it's unfortunate and it sets us backwards. But rejection does not have to become the definition of self identity. And a lot of people allow it to become that because they don't understand what rejection is. Rejection is just meant to be a refiner's fire, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to look at things in a new way, an opportunity to get to be a person that you're comfortable in being. And overcoming that is important. Monitor your level of energy. If something is draining something from you energetically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, then look at the cost benefit analysis of keeping that thing in your life. If you're constantly drained around a certain person, maybe you've outgrown that friendship. If you're constantly drained coming home from work, maybe it's time to look for a new job, not necessarily quit your job tomorrow, but look at the options of how to use your skills differently. If you're constantly drained by dealing with a certain social situation, maybe it's time to make a new group of friends or at least give yourself outlet of variety. The last thing is understand that resetting your mind doesn't happen overnight and it's a continual process. Just because you have worked on your mind doesn't mean that you have every answer that's necessary to maximize your mental and emotional power consistently. Instead, realizing that resetting your mind against negative habits or repetitive habits that aren't leading you in a positive direction can, in fact, be something you have to work on for months or years in order to really master your mind. In any event, I hope this is helpful. Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.